Greetings from the underworld. This is your host, Carl, Cactus Warmouth, and you're listening to Thinker Stinker, where guests pick one film that makes them think and one they say stinks. Today's thinker is Akira Kurosawa's 1961 samurai staple Yojimbo, starring Toshiro Mifune as a drifting swordsman who wanders into a tense town. The stinker is the 2004 DreamWorks animated film Shark Tale, which sees a blue-collar fish falsely claim he's slain a shark. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy.
All right, I would like to welcome Iconoclast with class, Charlie Blumberg. How's it going, Charlie?
Pretty good, pretty good. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. So your thinker was Yojimbo. So what do you like about Yojimbo? Why this one? Why this Kurosawa?
It's always been my favorite. I think it was actually the first Kurosawa I saw, and still to this day, it's my favorite. I love it for being not only a Western, but a Western that sort of goes deeper than the Westerns we sort of like to think about today and like to talk about.
Very pulpy for Kurosawa and funny.
Oh, yeah.
Although Seven Samurai is, of course, funny, I think Yojimbo is a funnier film. It goes from John Ford into Kurosawa, and then Kurosawa into Sergio Leone and A Fistful of Dollars, which is fascinating too. And this is also heavily influenced by The Glass Key, the 40s film adaptation of that, which is not great, but it's a Dashiell Hammett novel. I find like the fact that noir is creeping into this as well to be like a really interesting cross-cultural connection. But yeah, how old were you when you first saw it? Damn.
I was probably 13, 14. I looked up online. I was like getting into film at the time in high school.
Right.
And I was like, okay, what are the must-sees? Who are the best foreign directors? Because I
Right.
want to watch foreign films. I want to be a pretentious asshole who loves movies. And Kurosawa was one of the top picks. And I just went straight with Yojimbo because I thought the name was funny. And, I've been having the time of my life ever since.
Well, the name is funny because the character doesn't really have a name and then names himself after like an old tree or an old field.
A bunch of bushes he names himself after. A bunch of bushes and the year he was born. Yeah.
What are your favorite scenes in Yojimbo?
Oh, man, I've got so many. Just starting off right off the bat, the intro, the credits, you see this guy, you don't see his face, just walking around, striding around real slow with these crazy stylized credits, popping up in front of him. And then when it sort of dies down, you're like, okay, who is this guy? Where's his face? What does he look like? He just turns around casually and then just like walks around a little bit. And you're just like, oh, okay. All right, cool. And I love that because it subverts the Western tropes, but it also plays into them, if that makes any sense. Like you're expecting this grand reveal, like a Clint Eastwood movie would have, of this, this steely-eyed guy turning around to face the camera. But nah, he's just a casual, like whatever dude.
He is, yeah. And Toshiro Mifune has this kind of effortless cool, but I think it's especially prominent in this one. He is the central focus. Also, he's a completely selfish samurai. I mean, he's kind of an anti-samurai because he doesn't really follow any code. He's entirely self-serving.
Yeah, he doesn't really save the town, more like just destroys the town and is like, oh yeah, you guys won't have any problems here anymore. And he sides with like one of the main as we learn, like sort of villains at the start of the movie. And it's like, wait, who is this guy? He's not a hero? I wanted a hero. What's going on here?
I love the scene when he's in the brothel and they're talking shit about him and how they're going to try to short him or even potentially kill him. And this is the madame of the brothel and then another kind of squirmy gangster type. And then there's all the prostitutes who are like looking at him as he just kind of lingers in the hallway and they kind of like girlishly giggle to each other. And he sticks his tongue out at them. That's my very favorite shot, just because it like captures how much of a movie star he feels like in this. Like it's such a celebrity type thing. I mean, his character is a celebrity because clearly the town has been devoid of samurai. I mean, draws so much attention the second he struts into town.
Like another one of my favorite scenes is where he's talking with the restaurant owner when he first gets in, and the restaurant owner is like saying like, "Oh, this is the worst city in the entire world. This is completely underground run. Gambling is king. There's no regular living." And he's like, "I like it here. I'll stay a while.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
he's
that
happy.
line. I love that line.
Oh, he's he's also just stoic. Like he doesn't care. He's not intimidated by anyone.
He's bored out of his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just looking for something to do. I love also the coffin hiding, of course. I think that's probably one of the most
Yes.
signature things. What ranks really highly is the choreography in one of the final duels where all the bad guys are walking in tandem and it connects perfectly with the music and you just see Mifune on the other side approaching them and it's just this great standoff scene.
Just speaking on the music is so fucking awesome in this movie. It's so great. It's such a like I don't know, it's like a living being that's part of the town.
Yeah, no, it has a pulse, absolutely. And there's also just like a lot of interesting side characters, interesting looking side characters, especially.
Oh yeah. Yeah, interesting looking. I'll definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have the giant, you have the intellectually disabled villain.
The guy with the unibrow, he's called the Boar.
How do you think it pairs up with other Kurosawa films?
I think it's one of the most simple Kurosawa films. It's, very contained story, very one character driven, and but I like that. You don't have the epic scale of Seven Samurai. It doesn't have as much emotional depth as Rashomon, but I love its simplicity. I love it's just one hero, not even hero, just taking on this town sort of shit. And it's a western. It's so fun from start to finish. There's not a dull moment in it.
For him, it's a really compact runtime that works really well. I would say this is easily the most accessible Kurosawa, aside from maybe his earlier 40s noirs, which
Oh
are
yeah.
actually my favorite of his work.
Really?
Yeah. Stray Dog and Drunken Angel are my favorite Kurosawa films, particularly Drunken Angel. I like all of his movies that I've seen, but some of them are really really hard to get into because they're super long. Seven Samurai, like I don't know, it's gonna take years for me to be able to watch that again. Aikiru, kind of the same
Really?
way. Yeah,
I think Seven Samurai it moves so quickly for me. It really like it doesn't slow up for me. I don't really have a hard time rewatching it. I don't know.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But I just find with epics that it's really a huge investment, and I think this is common for a lot of people watching movies. I mean, you kind of get squirmy once you get like an hour in, even if it's a really compelling film. Sitting that like still for that long of a time can be a challenge. It can be a
Mm,
real exercise of concentration. And Kurosawa, I mean, you're totally right in that he builds such a huge, grandiose world and has so much skill that I mean he locks you in. I mean, if you're halfway through Seven Samurai, you're not gonna not watch the second half. I mean, that's just an
exactly.
impossibility. Um,
Unless you're a friend of ours.
oh
You know
really?
what I'm talking about?
I did not realize.
Mr. Pause the movie and watch it 2 weeks later.
That's kind of criminal, but I no, I really have to say like Yojimbo and Drunken Angel are the easiest of his films to watch and films I can feel like I can go back to anytime. And Mifune is just so impossibly badass.
Oh, he's so cool. Another one of my favorite quotes is, and I think it sums up the film really, really well, is the last quote of the film where he just says, "So long," and then he just walks off. He kills the guys. He says, "Okay, the town's gonna be great." And then he just says, "So long," and then it just cuts to credits, just like that, like snap like that. And I love that.
All right, your stinker was Shark Tale.
Uh, okay. So I picked this film as a joke, because I saw some people say on Twitter, Shark Tale, is really it's an underrated mob movie disguised as a children's animated film, a DreamWorks animated film. And I thought to myself, oh, haha, that's a funny meme. Maybe I should watch that again. And that barreled into, telling Carl here, Cactus here, that we should watch this for this show. And here we are, and we are all the worse for it. And yeah,
Yeah, it really is a torture instrument. I cannot lie to you. I find it hilarious that anybody would frame it as a mobster movie, even jokingly, because it's like one of the things that sticks out as being the absolute worst. Why is both Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese in this movie? What's
yeah,
happening?
Did you see the rest of the cast? There's about 3 to 4 people from The Sopranos in it as well.
Sopranos too. Yeah, yeah. Still, the most egregious was a Martin Scorsese pufferfish. I mean, of all the characters, there's a lot of bad shit going on here. This cast does not gel at all. I mean, it's a clusterfuck. But like, I really, really don't need to see Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese banter as fish. Just
Well,
no.
why not?
That.
Why not?
It's just so abysmal. Like, Robert De Niro playing a fucking shark mobster is just it's like Scorsese was like directing a shitty episode of SpongeBob, or like he saw Finding Nemo and got drunk on absinthe and decided that he'd take it a step further.
To talk about the film itself, it's got everything. It really does have everything. It's got a star-studded cast. It's got a classic hero's journey story from start to finish. It's got racism. It's got sexism. It's got product placement. It's got stakes. It's got it all, really. I mean, yeah, it's also got like horrifying, disgusting imagery. Like one of the first scenes you see is the car wash, which has this, or the whale wash. Sorry, they play a song called "Car Wash" during it, and they have a vomit fight. They throw vomit at each other. The cartoon fish do this. It's very, very interesting.
I can attest that happens and is in fact horrifying. Yeah. God, fucking. Here's the thing, right? Like, I feel like Will Smith and Jack Black both have cult followings, and both of them have had very like hair-raising careers at points where it just like tanks into just atrocious pieces of shit projects.
Right.
And yeah, you put them together, it doesn't fix that problem.
It's interesting you say that, because this film was made at the height of Will Smith's popularity. Just a few years after this, he was voted in 2007 as the most powerful actor in Hollywood, which, I mean, I don't agree with that at all, but it's just there was this consensus around him that he was amazing. He was a star. He was a triple A plus Hollywood elite. And he does this right in the middle of it, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, man. And I think about that too, given this is 2004, right? That's the height of Jack Black's popularity also.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's really weird because there's a lot of animated C content from that period. I mean, SpongeBob is still relatively new. Finding Nemo had just been released. So this is trying to capitalize on those things' popularity, and just fails so miserably. Yeah, I think about the Ziggy Marley Rasta jellyfish also as just another.
Oh my God! Let me tell you about that. Their eyes are terrifying.
Yeah.
It makes me want to throw up. Among a lot of other things in this film that make me want to throw up, their eyes and their faces. Jellyfish should not have faces for a reason.
Yeah, it's just another piece of evidence as to how many stereotypes this film employs. Probably was very destructive to kids.
I mean, I read online, one critic said it's a fun hip hop gangster action comedy. And yeah, hip hop, sure, yeah.
Fucking DreamWorks hip hop and DreamWorks Italian American and DreamWorks Jamaican. It's a fucking nightmare. I mean, it doesn't do any of those things well. It does them all in a kind of suspect fashion.
This whole film is suspect, and I don't know. It makes me sick. It made me sick. It made me have a mental breakdown. It's horrible. It's terrifying. I don't want anybody to watch this unless they want to feel pain and endure pain. It's not a so bad it's good movie. I'll say that. It's just painful.
What was your psyche immediately after watching this? Because I know you told me it did some real damage.
Yeah, I mean, I have a transcript written by my girlfriend of what I was saying after I watched this film. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I hate movies now. Everything is ruined. Kill the Will Smith fish. I want to deep fry him alive. Oh, yeah. I saw somebody made a script for Shark Tale 2 online, a fully fledged, I want to say 100-page script. And that sent me down into a pit of despair. Yeah, I hate movies are ruined. Cinema is ruined. Animated movies shouldn't exist. I hate everything.
So, am I right in that you played the Shark Tale video game afterwards too, or did you not get around to that?
No, I'm gonna do that tonight.
Oh man, I watched some gameplay of it. I can't imagine like that's going to improve your mental health if Shark Tale.
I have to do it. I have to kill this demon inside of me.
I did have this sneaking suspicion that I had seen the movie before, that maybe it was just some sort of childhood film that I had blocked out or just inevitably forgotten. But I
Right.
also feel like I was conflating it with Finding Nemo, which I think is probably true with a lot of kids from our generation. I mean, Finding Nemo was the good animated fish movie that people talked about and people knew. And then this was like when I brought it up to a couple people in conversation, I was like, oh yeah. Like you start describing it, you're like, no, there's a fucking mobster fish, and there's a Will Smith, and everyone's like, oh, I did see that one when I was, and they just have completely blocked it out of their memory as if it were a traumatic experience.
It is a traumatic experience. Every time I see Will Smith's lips on a fish, every time I see Angelina Jolie fish, Renee Zellweger fish, fucking Martin Scorsese pufferfish eyebrows, I want to scream. I hate it.
That's the other thing, man, is with the design. Martin Scorsese's pufferfish has those huge, bushy Marty eyebrows, and Robert De Niro's shark's got the Robert De Niro mole. And it's like, all right, like I guess you're tossing one for the parents because the fucking little kids aren't gonna understand what's happening. But like,
And
is that like appealing? Like, if you were like an adult showing this to your child, like, is that really like enough salvation to see fucking Martin Scorsese rambling as a pufferfish, talking like he's still high on cocaine in the fucking early 2000s?
I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. And on that note, I was discussing this film with somebody else after I watched it, and we got into the conversation of who is this for? Who exactly is this film for? Because there is so much information, there are so many gags, so many things that only adults get. Meanwhile, you're left with the rest of the movie, 20% is for kids. 80% of it is made for adults to get. And I don't understand that.
I think it's your typical animated movie in that it's trying to appeal both to kids and the people that are going to have to watch the film with their kids.
Sure.
But it has the ratio completely off. It feels raunchy.
Oh, it's very raunchy. When they're doing the whale wash, car wash, they have these turtle characters who are like rubbing up against the whales in like weird provocative manner. And at the end, Martin Scorsese's character has like a pimp outfit, and he has a bunch of the turtles like around him, like they're prostitutes. It's odd.
Listen, this is the worst movie I have ever had to watch on your recommendation.
I'm glad.
I feel like it'll be hard for you to suggest a worse movie in the future, so at least I have that to look forward to.
I'll work on it.
I appreciate you hopping on Thinker Stinker. You were a fun guest. And yeah, shit. Thanks, bro.
No problem. It was a pleasure to be here.
And there you have it, folks. If you really want some underwater animated entertainment, I implore you to go watch the first 4 seasons of SpongeBob. Shark Tale certainly isn't the worst animated kids film I've seen, but seeing what it did to poor Charlie makes me advise everyone to approach it with caution. Yojimbo, meanwhile, is pure tough guy fun, and I recommend it to all. It's no Harakiri or Unababa, but it's probably an easier access point than either of those films. That's all for now, listeners. Peace out.